Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 3, Season 1, Episode 3. I'm so sorry this video is up late. My CFS, I'm not always feeling up to reacting, but I'm so excited. I've been desperate to watch this episode, especially with how the last one ended, and just how brilliant the first two were. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go! He needs guidance right now. This montage. Fuck. Yep. Jesus Christ. You're someone that was like a brother to you becomes your greatest enemy. Ugh, awful.
He will pay for the Grand Inquisitor's
The Grand Inquisitor means nothing.
The Grand Inquisitor's not dead though.
Is that understood?
Or that wasn't the same Grand Inquisitor. Just a similar race. Let the sweetness of this child give you some hope for the world.
What does it feel like?
Ever been afraid of the dark? How does it feel when you turn on the light?
I feel safe.
Yes, it feels like that.
That's a really lovely way of describing it.
Lola!
Oh,
You fixed her.
that is so sweet.
Thank you.
This is so sweet, and everything he's just learned about her father. And fuck. The Empire is never far.
Seems like a losing battle these days.
Getting her eyes opened early. Fuck.
You are not in charge here.
Actually. Fuck.
Is my... I will get what I deserve. Third sister. And so will you.
Actually, you're still angling for it in Rebels in 5 years' time, so.
Well, if we're on our own, we're gonna need some help.
What are you doing?
Oh gosh.
Maybe they can give us a ride to the
She has seen a very different. She has a very different view of people, a very sweet, innocent, childlike view of it.
My pleasure. Hop in.
Let's hope we can trust Frank. He seems trustworthy. Yeah. But what choice does he have but to work for the Empire with the way the world is? The universe, the galaxy. And who was supposed to meet them there? Oh Lord.
Hop in. Meet my new friend. Thanks, Frank.
Jesus Christ.
They're moving us around. Looking for a Jedi. Jedi? Out here?
Little Leia's like, never heard of one of
We'll
those.
find them.
He could really get a cloak that looked less Jedi-like. Don't make it look more Jedi-like. This isn't a stressful road trip at all.
to see the place where he met my mother. Or she.
She's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
It's been a very difficult time.
Grief makes people awkward, they're not going to ask any more questions.
Turkey's even on this planet?
They know what they're doing, Leia.
Fuck!
You called her Leia.
Yeah,
That's
Leia.
her mother's name.
As long as her name hasn't got spread.
Like I said, it's not been easy. Sometimes
Not that he was the one that mucked up the plan a little bit.
I see her mother's face.
Oh. It's not a total lie either. She's very much like her parents.
Ordered if you see anything.
Cool.
See, if they put out that the Jedi was travelling with a child, immediately they'd be captured. Because you see a strange man not from this part of town, part of the planet, part of the universe, with a child, bam, arrested. Put out it's just a Jedi, no clue.
You knew her. My real mother, didn't you?
She sensed how real that was.
The whole time I've known you. Are you my real father?
Oh, you would wonder that, wouldn't you? This man's coming out of nowhere to do everything he could to protect you. And also there are people who, like, I don't know, there was supposedly, like, kind of jokey theories of, like,
No, I'm not. These Jedi were taken from our families when we were very young.
every scene they have is everything.
A baby?
Yes, I think I had a brother.
Oh.
I
Oh.
don't remember him.
I understand why the Jedi do what they do, but it's also so cruel. So cruel. You
Then
have a
I
brother
joined
as
the Jedi
well.
and I got a new family, just like...
A couple of strays I found. Thought you might want to check them out.
Yep, he's a true loyalist. Like, when he had the thing on his truck, I was like, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in that in a kind of regime like this, you can't always afford to risk yourself and your family and be like, no, I won't work for you. But he's clearly very pro-Empire. But we have our story, and don't make yourself look more like a Jedi. Oh no. These things are evil and I hate them. Leia, under the truck, hide. Jesus Christ! Oh. It's a
Bring
baby.
it down.
Oh.
Let her go.
She was so scared. Fuck. His gun is still very much raised. Oh my god, is she the person they were supposed to contact that was coming?
I'll inform Lord Vader.
He's already been informed.
Fuck. We're being cut out of the loop.
Wait, here, I'll make sure it's clear.
She risks a lot. There are still people that you can believe in here.
Miss home.
We're gonna get you right back there, sweetheart.
We'll be home very soon.
There's a lot of good people risking their lives out there.
It really gives you hope in a place this
Are
hopeless.
they all Jedi?
We'll get ready.
She'll make a good fighter one day.
I wish she didn't have to, but
Yes, I
she
think you might be right.
will. We all know she will.
What?
Oh my god. Is he here? Or just Inquisitors? It's bad enough. Fuck! He knows that's Anakin now. We have to go. This is awful. They're doing like a masterclass of a job of showing A, how terrifying his very presence is, and B, Obi-Wan's reaction to it. And to knowing who it is. Oh my god. He knows that was his little brother once. Oh. No. Bless. He just wants to protect that baby. And these people because he's a good man and... Just can you imagine seeing someone that you know you helped raise, someone that was like a little brother to you, someone that you loved, become this, and part of you will feel like you failed them because you could have raised them better, and part of you will be so angry at them for ever letting themselves fall this far. I know there's like a really interesting psychological debate when it comes to Anakin. Like, some people think he's fully like Anakin died and a new persona was born, but I think the fact that he ultimately chooses good means that there's still some Anakin in there. I think it's not quite as clean cut. My personal viewing of the situation is it's not quite as clean cut as he lost the persona of Anakin and became Darth Vader. I think he kind of shoved Anakin in a box and hated all the bits of him that were Anakin, but they were still there. And I think Anakin as a character goes from being someone you root for to someone you weep for while raging at for having become this, is how I view it. And I cannot even imagine how Obi-Wan is feeling right now. The terror combined with the anguish and the pain and just every fucking emotion going. Just knowing what they were to each other. And this is where we've become. Fucking hell.
What have you become?
Yeah.
I am what you made me.
You're what Palpatine made you. He groomed you for many years and yes, nobody noticed. And then you gave into all of your darkest impulses. Really, you're what you made yourself. Obi-Wan had a small part in it, but Anakin, the blame lies with you. Anyone here, it is you. just imagining what Obi-Wan would be feeling right now. And, you know, is there a part of Anakin that almost seeing the fear and the, it's not quite revulsion, because I don't think Ewan McGregor was giving us revulsion, but the kind of like, what have you become, the like horror of him being like this. Is there a part inside Darth Vader that every time somebody he once knew knows who he is and looks at him like that, that becomes more Darth Vader-like because you can't admit, like, oh yeah, fuck, I've lost my way? Or is he just too far gone at this point? Because even for him, as together as he seems in his evilness, Obi-Wan must be enough to throw him. And I wonder if he were to come, I do not want him to come face to face with Leia, because Leia is 10 and Darth Vader is terrifying, but I wonder if he were to come face to face and realise that's his and Padme's child. Would anything about him change? Would he let them go? I don't know. That would have been such an interesting dynamic, but also get Leia to safety and away from him fast. I think people like to sort of, Vader is such an iconic villain, and knowing that he started off as Anakin, oh, she's doing such through the funnel, but knowing that he started off as such a good guy, it's so tragic, you know. I was talking with my mum about these shows, like she watches The Mandalorian with me, but she doesn't watch the rest of Star Wars because she just never got into it when she was younger, and she was like, I'm so glad I don't watch Star Wars because Anakin's character arc would make me too sad. And it is just such a sad character arc when you think about it. I was about to say, at least with the breathing, he can't really sneak up on you, and then he did. So was he just holding his breath that whole time? Sorry. Literally trying to think of lighthearted things to get away from the terror I'm feeling right now for Obi-Wan, although it's kind of a terror tempered with he survives this, and just the terror for what he's going through emotionally. Just seeing them fight again. Fuck. She wants to go back. She's so brave. Oh no, don't go back though. It's late. I think Tala, is that it? She sacrifices so much for people she doesn't even know. There are really good people in this world, and it makes Anakin's fall even more aggravating. Maybe he should have, as a mercy. Jesus Christ, yep. All the people that have been helped through here. Is she going to see names of people she knows? She was a Jedi child. And Reva is someone that you almost wish would at some point stop and realise the person she's become is so very different from the person she once could have been. I'm loving her arc, and if you are somehow made it this far through my reaction and you want to send, and you are someone that hates on this actress, fuck off. Please just block me so I do not have to see you in my life. But like, she's doing a phenomenal job. I love her as a character, but she's such a similar character. I mean, I say she's a similar character to Anakin. She was a child when this happened, but life has put her in a position where she's become this evil person who hunts others like her instead of helping them, and it breaks your heart to think of how many lives have been destroyed by the Empire, and she is another one of them, though now she is, just like Anakin, crossing that line into being culpable for her actions. Jesus fuck. Fucking hell. Fuck. Holy shit. Holy shit. How did she get out? Are there different exits and entrances?
Bring him to me.
Jesus fuck. How did she get past Reva? And does that mean Reva's after Leia? Is he strong enough to run? Oh, bless Ned B.
No, we'll never find him.
I mean, really, Vader wasn't just fussed with, you know, torturing him. He could have killed him easily. Oh. Baby.
Come closer.
How did she get ahead of her?
Trust me?
Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, but
How did she get ahead of her? Or did she figure, oh, she figured out where the tunnel would be leaving? Oh. Oh my god. Because that was just a good person that was risking his life to protect others. Fuck. This episode was emotionally a lot. Jesus Christ. Just Obi-Wan and Anakin and Vader seeing each other again for the first time, and Obi-Wan fully knowing who that is, having only just realised who that is, that Anakin survived and became this evil creature that snaps children's necks like it's nothing. It is gut-wrenching. It is awful. I genuinely feel like I was almost close to sobbing, and then I just got angry at Anakin instead. I know it's a very complex situation, but when you see anybody that had such potential for good and was so good for that far, they do carry a decent chunk of that blame on themselves, and yeah. It was just brutal, wasn't it? The scenes between Han is definitely not around right now. The scene between Obi-Wan and Leia were just absolutely everything. Her asking about, you know, figuring out that he did know her mother from what he'd said, and then saying, "Are you my father?" Because you would be wondering as a little kid, you know, what, like, we're both brunettes, and like, he's this man I've never met before who is the only person trusted to save me and is looking after me. That was just really sweet. And I do think, first of all, if anyone sends hate to child actors and actresses anytime, fuck off. Like, take yourself off the internet and go and sit in a hole. She's doing a fantastic job of young Leia. I have loved her performance. I've loved her character. She is bringing such life to the character in a way that I know Carrie Fisher would love. She's a perfect young Leia. Seeing her, she's got such a brilliant mix of Anakin and Padme in her, just in the same way. I know that, you know, there's a lot of, I've often seen it said that in a lot of ways, Luke is more like Padme and Leia is actually more like Anakin in terms of some of how they act. But I think you can really see both in kind of some of her stubbornness and things, but just the way she is so fearless and brave, and yet she's also 10, and so there are times when she's terrified because she's 10. I absolutely adore her interactions with Ben. They're my favourite part of they're my favourite part of the show that makes me feel good things. My favourite part of the show that makes me feel bad, scary things is, of course, Anakin and Vader and Obi-Wan. Fuck. The people on this planet I feel so sorry for. Anyone who tries to defend the Empire, it is not. It's like people who'd be like, oh well, it's like people who might try and claim that the Roman Empire or the British Empire did good because if you take some obscure one time they did a good thing. No, the atrocities committed do not. They speak for themselves, certainly. And I thought it was really interesting to see Tala, I'm so sorry if I'm getting her name wrong, her perspective of she truly did believe in the Empire. Like, she joined up when it happened. She thought, yeah, this time it's going to be a change, maybe a break from the war and the misery that that's causing. Things are going to be better now. Then when she realised, fuck, I've joined a terrible dictatorship, fascist regime that's causing suffering, she caused some suffering herself, and now she's dedicating her life to make it better. I think it's actually going to be really important for Obi-Wan, these different characters he's meeting along the way who are risking everything to protect others for no real benefit to themselves. Like, I know the guy pretending to be a Jedi took a small cut, but at the end of the day, the risk they're taking is so huge, but all that they care about is helping strangers. Will help him keep a little bit of faith, because watching his entire way of life, the world he knew, everyone he cared about, be slaughtered, watching someone he cared deeply for fall to the dark side, even if he didn't know that he fully survived and became Darth Vader or anything, did really make him lose faith in the world. And just seeing the Empire's rise, I can't imagine what that would be like. I can literally only equate it to watching what is happening in our world today to a degree. Watching right-wing parties across the world sweep in and take all this power and use it to oppress people, to widen poverty lines and like inequality lines, to take back human rights. It is a really scary time to be alive right now. So I feel like this show is kind of in a weird way mirroring our world. But it's also finding the hope, which is something that's really important in the world we live in at the moment. Cannot even begin to imagine what Obi-Wan is going through. I mean, I talked about it a little bit, but the depth of his feeling of, he's carried the guilt of killing Anakin all this time, and really, he's been alive and he's been getting more and more evil, and watching someone you care about, just like the child that ran out for his dad and then Vader just snapped his neck. I know Vader ultimately makes the right choice and saves everybody, and you know, small credit for him for that, maybe even big credit for him, but his tally is very huge. And yeah, I think it is just a shatteringly heartbreaking plotline what happens to Anakin Skywalker, the character he once was and what he becomes. I do think you need to differentiate the two, that there is very much Anakin and Vader, but psychologically speaking, I don't think it's a split personality and then Anakin just goes dormant and Vader took over. Anakin is there the whole time. He just suppresses all those parts of himself, which it's fully on him that he goes as far as he does. Yes, there are circumstances around him. I'm not saying that there aren't, and yes, Palpatine's grooming, which you can really see in the Clone Wars, is disgusting, and it's very clearly like something that helps push him down that path. And the Jedi's, you know, Palpatine was very good at what he did. He knew all the Jedi's weaknesses and he was able to highlight those for Anakin, but Anakin still made the choices at the end of the day. Fuck, it's just so stressful. I'm losing my voice. I feel in some ways Reva is a similar case to Anakin. Now, she's a very different case to Anakin in that she was a literal child when the Jedi fell and when she watched all the Jedi being slaughtered by clones that she'd once trusted. Basically, I'm accepting that she is one of those children, and if she isn't, they've done a really bad job. They've done a really good job of baiting us, but her life was turned on its head, a place that I suppose first of all took her from her family that she originally knew, so that she has no real contact or memories of them, brought her here and said, you're going to be safe here and we're going to train you up for a way of life. Then that got taken from her and she was left alone, probably had to figure out how to fend for herself, and ultimately ended up joining the Inquisitors. Now, do they take Force-sensitive children and train them up to be Empire soldiers? Do they train them for their midichlorians or whatever? Do they kill them? I don't know. If that is something that as viewers we are supposed to know, do let me know. But you can see how she would end up as disillusioned and hating the Jedi as she is, and hunting them down with such a vengeance. But it is also so sad because you think, your memories of the Jedi weren't bad, were they? But what has she heard since? I do want to know more about her backstory very badly. And like I said in the reaction, anyone who is sending hate towards that actress, you know you're racist. Fuck off. She's doing a brilliant job being Reva. I am very intrigued with where this character is going from. Yes, it's not what we expected. I didn't see the trailer, but I know that people were commenting on the Grand Inquisitor's appearance, and for him to just get stabbed in episode 2, he has to be alive because he's alive in the Rebels. But other than that, she is very scary because you can see how she would end up where she has ended up, and she's going to have Leia now, which is terrifying. Is she going to bring Leia to Vader? Is he going to realise who she is? Is Leia going to actually run away? Leia is resourceful. I would not put it past her to escape. She's very good at running away. We've seen that multiple times, but she was in very much a passageway. And I was thinking, how did Tala get out? But it's because she figured out where the passage would be going and looped around. Obi-Wan has been tortured. He's been burnt. He is not doing well. With Tala, and you know, he's got people with him. Vader is still on the planet, knows he's still on the planet. Their pilot's been shot. Perhaps one of them could fly the ship. I think Tala's going to have to leave because her cover has certainly been blown. But just this episode did such a good job of showing to you the cruelties of the Empire. It showed you that there are good people fighting back. It showed you Leia being everything. Her, you know, a world. It made you think yet again a world in which Uncle Obi-Wan could have grown up with his little niece and nephew. Or been there while they grew up even, and everyone could have been happy with one universe, right? Fantastic episode. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.